So here we are at episode 5 of The Last of Us, and here I am with my review for you. And this episode here highlights what possibly might be the issue that I have with this series. So let's find out, let's talk about it. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome to my review series for The Last of Us. Yes, what can I say about this episode? Okay, so story-wise, and before I begin, spoilers. Yes, there will be spoilers in this, so if you haven't watched it, please jump off and come back. So I've just watched episode 5, entitled Endure and Survive, and this episode starts off showing us a lot of the life of Henry and Sam and what they're up to, and Kathleen being after them and this sort of a thing. We come to find out that Henry actually saw Joel in the situation when he was in the garage, and he killed that geezer before, after Ellie had shot the geezer in the backside. And obviously, as we know, at the end of the last episode, he stood over them with his gun, pointing it at them. And he talks them into the fact that he's a decent guy and he can actually help them get out of the city. But he needs their help to get him out of the city as well. They need to work as a partnership kind of thing. So they obviously decide to do this, and the route out of the city takes them underground into the tunnels. We come to learn that these infected that are underground, a lot of them have been cleared out, but others are elsewhere. And we get a nice scene, a nice sort of slower scene, where you get Ellie playing with Sam. Throughout this episode, she does build up a relationship with him, and it's nice to see her sort of being a big sister to him, so to speak, playing with him, and also sort of getting back to her own childhood, shall we say, the sort of innocence that she missed. She's sort of living through him in this episode. Now, Sam himself, he can't speak. He uses sign language. He's deaf. And in that regard, when that first came about, it did remind me a lot of The Walking Dead, because obviously we've had a lot of that in the latter seasons of The Walking Dead. So that was sort of nothing new to me. It didn't feel fresh. One of the problems I have with it, Kathleen happens to catch up with Henry, Sam, Ellie and Joel, and a fight ensues, big fight, and a lot of the infected get released from under the city. They come pouring out of this hole, and this sort of saves Henry, Sam, Ellie and Joel from the clutches of Kathleen, shall we say. This big creature comes out, massive big thing, which is obviously something from the game, I'm assuming. I don't know. I weren't too keen on that, because it sort of steps into that game territory, or that sort of Resident Evil movie territory, where you're looking at things that are different than undead. But I'm going to have to accept that. And the episode does end with a bit of a shocker, and I won't go into too much detail on this, but if you've seen it, you know how the episode ends. It's quite a heartfelt, sad ending to the episode, especially for Ellie, and what she attempts to do to try and help the situation, and her attempts all in vain and this sort of thing. And this highlights part of the issues that I have, like I said, with the series. Now, this was a very strong episode. It runs for 59 minutes, almost an hour in length, and it is very good. It is strong in what it does. That being said, the issues I have is the sort of narrative, and I know this is the game, and from the game's perspective, that the narrative is on the road, so they're passing through everything as they go. So characters like Kathleen, they don't have the time to develop. Characters like Henry and Sam, they're sort of there and then they're gone, so you're introducing compelling characters that stick around for an episode, maybe 2 episodes, and then ultimately they fizzle out, they do nothing, because they're not part of the on the road narrative of the story. And like I said, I get that this is from the perspective of the game, and this is what the game is, but from a sort of TV standpoint, I'm enjoying the journey that Joel and Ellie are on. I think this series has sort of started off, I was a bit dubious about it, but it's got stronger as it's gone on. The past 3 episodes have been somewhat better than the first 2 for me. But like I said, it all depends on this relationship growing between Ellie and Joel, which has got off to a good start over the past few episodes. Well, not so much the first 2 episodes, but the past few episodes, it has sort of picked up a bit, and I've enjoyed that. Pedro Pascal is fantastic in it. The young actress who plays Ellie, her name eludes me at this moment in time, she got more to chew on in this episode, shall we say, for want of a better term, than she has in previous episodes. Like I said, the empathy that comes through from her when she's dealing with Sam, young Sam, playing with him, and like I said, you see it as this sort of almost a big sister, nay, mother figure type of a thing, but also at the same time she's, and I said this before, that she's going back to her childhood, and she's partaking in things that she feasibly missed as a child, because she would have missed out on her childhood, as many children in this world would have done. So, you know, a solid episode, if nothing else, but for me personally highlights some of the issues that I personally have with the show, not necessarily yourselves or anything like that. But no, a solid episode. If you've seen it, let me know your thoughts down below. Are you enjoying the series so far? Do you get Walking Dead vibes from it like what I do? I think it's hard not to if you followed The Walking Dead for as long as that was on and still continuing on TV. But there we go. So this is AJ. Thank you for watching. And I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.